Hello, everybody. Today, we're going to be talking about managing plantar fasciitis. We're also going to ultimately, hopefully, be shifting out of using this word managing, right? Managing implies that we just got to deal with it. We got to manage the pain. There's nothing to be done. I really want us to ultimately get to the underbelly of what it is. Where did it come from? So we could start to resolve that and ultimately get rid of the pain, right? So we're no longer managing it, we're resolving it. So that's our ultimate goal. Today, we're going to be doing exercises to manage it, but there'll also be some things for you to look at as you continue to take these exercises with you, and also just really thinking about why and where it comes from, okay? So generally, plantar fasciitis, first of all, what it is. Plantar fasciitis, it ends with itis, which means it's inflammation. Anything that ends with itis, right? Colitis, plantar fasciitis, osteoarthritis, there's a level of inflammation in the body. Plantar fasciitis means that there's a level of inflammation at the level of the tissue, of the fascia. So plantar is just the bottom of the foot, the plantar aspect. Fasciitis, fascia is the fascia. And then itis is inflammation. Inflammation of the fascia on the plantar aspect of the foot, okay? Generally, to tend to this, usually someone will say ice it and Motrin, right? Advil. An anti-inflammatory. This is not sustainable ultimately, right? We can't be putting Motrin in our bodies every day without consequence. So I want to offer up some things that are besides ice and Motrin, okay? So first of all, I would like you to think about why you have plantar fasciitis, or if it's not you that has plantar fasciitis, perhaps a client or someone you know, I would like you to drop into your sense body and feel, why do I have plantar fasciitis? Not what the doctor told you, but why? And it may be that just a word comes in, shoes might come in, a food might come in, right? So allow yourself to just sit with that for a second and see what comes to mind. I don't currently have plantar fasciitis, but I've had it before multiple times in my life. And from a mind place, I can say, oh yeah, it's because I was overweight or because it was the wrong shoes. But when I tap into my felt sense, the first thing that comes to mind is there's inflammation in my gut, my literal gut, inflammation at the level of my digestive system, right? That's what comes in. So I want you to continue to ask this question, see what comes in for you, because this is a piece to the puzzle. Similarly, I want you to ask a secondary question, which is first, why do I have plantar fasciitis? But the second question then becomes, what is this going to teach me? Right? What am I not hearing? What is this pain trying to teach me? These sorts of questions, because there might be something in that too. So in this way, our first exercise is to ask, right? To ask thyself, know thyself and ask thyself. So ask yourself, right? Empty out your brain, have your question and see what comes in. In this way, we're really honoring our intuition, not just what somebody told us, not just the diagnosis. We're tapping into our inner body and sensing why this is and what it has to teach you, okay? So that's first. The next thing to consider, just in addition to this, is whatever it is that comes in, consider the emotion behind it. So for instance, if what comes in is those shoes I wore in the 80s that were too high, that hurt my feet, and now I have plantar fasciitis, right? So that's number one, that's why, right? When you look underneath that, consider what the emotion was when you were wearing those shoes. What was the emotion when you were putting them on, right? Were you feeling not happy about the fact that you had to wear these shoes every day to work? Were you wearing them because you felt like it would make you sexier, but you were still insecure even wearing them? What was the emotion, right, underneath wearing those shoes? Okay, so just consider those two things as you begin to kind of get under the layers of why this plantar fasciitis might still be with you, especially if you've had it for a while. Okay, so next, more practically is going to be reflexology. Okay, so reflexology is in the feet. It's perfect because we're going to be dealing with the feet. So in reflexology, it's an exact map of the body, right? When you have plantar fasciitis, I want you to consider where exactly the pain is. So with clients that I've seen, oftentimes it's going to be through here, or it'll be a little bit lower, right above that heel, right? So in the reflexology map, up through here, we're going to see the adrenal gland, right? Your fight or flight little button, right? Producing cortisol and adrenaline, right? When you're stressed, this adrenal gland is really pumping, sometimes overly pumping too much cortisol. If you're feeling the pain down through here, this is going to be more small intestines. So if you ask a podiatrist, it'll be inflammation of the fascia on the plantar aspect. From a reflexology standpoint, you're looking at the map. What's going on in the inner body, not just with the foot, right? So wherever there is pain, you press there, you give attention there. Pain is an opportunity, right? It's a call for attention. So when there is pain here, you don't even have to know that that is your right adrenal. All you have to know is there's pain there and there's a call for attention. It wants attention. And so you just rub there. You could use a finger walking technique, right? You could do thumb walking or a pressing in and holding. And in this way, you're tending not just to the fascia, but also to the organ or gland or area of the body that corresponds to that part of the foot. Okay, so that's reflexology. Next up, I want you to consider the feet from a more metaphysical standpoint, right? The feet are all about moving forward. So I'd like you to consider or wonder, in which way, in what way are you not moving forward? In what way are you staying put, right? And it can be something very, very small, something that you can continually, it comes to mind and you really want to do it, but you don't. Or it could be something quite large, right? Like literally moving out of your apartment, literally moving to a different city, literally getting out of a relationship, right? In what way are you stuck? Okay. The feet are all about moving forward. So in what way are you not moving forward? Okay. You could journal about this too. It's a piece to the puzzle. Next up, affirmations. Louise Hay, right? Louise Hay says that the feet are all about how our relationship and how we understand ourselves, others, and our lives, right? So she has, highly recommend this book. It's tiny, Heal Your Body, right? And you can go to any part of the body and she has the possible condition and then an affirmation. And I happen to open to the feet. So the feet, her affirmation is, my understanding is clear and I am willing to change with the times. I am safe. My understanding is clear. I am willing to change with the times and I am safe. Okay. Louise Hay, if you want to do that affirmation or any kind of affirmation around what you discovered today, I encourage you to say it aloud. Just gives it a little bit more power, right? Not that anybody else has to hear it, but when you're alone, say it aloud in a mantra form, fashion, right? Again and again. You could also look to Ina Segal. She wrote a book called The Secret Language of Your Body, I believe it's called. And she talks about how the feet are, when there are problems of the feet, it's because you may be moving in the wrong direction or you're not listening to your intuition. right? So this relates back to what I was saying about those shoes, right? Your intuition is saying, don't wear those shoes today. They don't feel good, but you're wearing them anyway, right? How do you honor yourself? How do you listen to that intuition, right? And then ultimately, how do you move forward listening to yourself? Okay. So that is Louise Hay and Ina Segal. Next up, I want you to consider the spinal nerve chart. This is something that I use in many of my classes. It's in my Intuitive Reiki and Integrative Approach book. So you can actually see it in there. If you get the book, there is a link that'll bring you to the pages on my website where you can actually zoom in and see it more clearly. I'll pull it up right now too, so you can see. In the spinal nerve chart, there are nerve roots that are coming out of the spine that innervate different organs, glands, and areas of the body. So at the level of L5, lumbar 5, right, that lower back area, that's the nerve root that is innervating the legs, the ankles, the feet. So you want to tend to that area of the body. You can, or the best way to tend to it would be using the energy of your hands. And you would just placing one hand at the level of L5, so it's mid lower back, or it's mid, like with the spine, right? So it's the center of your back, and it's low, right above your buttocks, right above the sacrum. So you're gonna do that, and you're gonna place another hand on top, okay? So you would just place it there like a V, lowering your gaze or closing your eyes, and feeling the heat of the hands, giving attention to L5, but with the intention that it's also tending to the legs, the ankles, and the feet. Okay, I'm gonna pull up really quick this spinal nerve chart just so you can see it, okay? Da-da-da. Okay, so here it is. So the artist that I had to do this, I had him do it also in the chakra colors, right? So you can see that red being the root chakra is the sacrum and coccyx, and we start to move up. So right between the first and second chakra is where we're gonna see L5. That's why it's in almost like a lighter red, right? So if I zoom in, okay, so if I zoom in, L5 is lower legs, ankles, feet, toes. This is the sacrum here, so it's right at the base here. Okay, and you may even find that you have lower back pain and plantar fasciitis, right? And in this way, now we know there is a relationship between the two. Okay, so I just wanted you to see that. And again, it is also in the book if you want to have it for all time. It's in the Intuitive Reiki book as well. Okay, so that is that. So with the spinal nerve chart, again, the best way is to place your hands, feeling the heat and the energy of the palm of your hands on L5. Okay, so next is a literal exercise. This is something that a physical therapist might tell you to do. Okay, what you do is you take a sock, you drop it on the floor, and with your foot, with your toes, you are literally going to pick up that sock, and it can be quite difficult, picking up a sock with your toes like this, and then once you have picked it up, you drop it. And then again, you pick it up with your toes, and you drop it. You could do that 10 to 15 times. It'll feel like you're only paying attention to like your toes. They may even start to cramp. But remember, this plantar fascia is connected up through here and is connected up back through there, right? So in this way, we're tending to the top portion, picking it up and dropping it. That's the drop sock exercise, okay? The next thing you will do, and this is best in the morning for sure, and if you have plantar fasciitis, you may find that the mornings are the most difficult and the most painful. So getting out of bed, what you'll do is you'll go to the wall, place your hands on the wall, one leg is bent, and the other leg is outstretched behind you, and you're stretching the calf. So definitely do this. If it's your left foot, that has the plantar fasciitis, you really want to stretch that the left calf. Okay. It can be for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, right? Stay there for a while and really feel those muscles kind of fall away. Okay. There's the gastrocnemius, but there's a whole bunch of other, the soleus, there's other smaller muscles that course through there that you also want to release. Okay. So that is stretching the back of the calf. And lastly, the last one I want to offer up is the inflammation and the stress aspect. So with inflammation, it may be that the inflammation is coming from your inner body. If this is the case, I have seen incredible results with people who have fasted on water, fasted on juice, and have switched to a plant-based diet, especially those who eliminate salt, sugar, and oil. This can be very difficult for people, especially if you love your meat and your cheese. So if you're not willing to give that up, that's okay. I encourage you then to just try doing a short period of time where you do maybe intermittent fasting. If you want to fast on water, you want to be sure to be under a doctor's care, and really, you don't want to do that on your own. You want to be under care, but there are things you can do on your own. You can do a short juice cleanse, right? Talk to your doctor, see if it's okay, get some advice. There are a lot of great naturopaths and holistic healers, certainly at True North. Chilla Varesh is one, right? She does outpatient. You can have a conversation with her about how to do intermittent fasting or a juice cleanse on your own, in a way that is good for your body, right? That will really not hurt you, right? But definitely, I'm no doctor, so ask your doctor and try it out. You may find that it can relieve this particular itis, this particular inflammation within the body. I've seen people with osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, plantar fasciitis, colitis, and when they do a fast or a juice cleanse or switch to plant-based, their inflammation subsides or completely goes away. It's remarkable. So just know that that's an option, and those are our tools. Okay, so we have reflexology, we have Reiki, we have the drop sock technique, we have an affirmation, we have questions to ask ourselves, ways of being with our body and sensing where things are coming from, and having and holding space for that. That's good. Stretching the back of the calf, and then considering inflammation as I look at my coffee. Considering letting go of inflammatory foods and beverages is another option. Okay, so those are your tools. I hope it helps. Much love, and I'll see you next time. Take care.